Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Like, hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
For the 2024 Stanley Cup odds, the Hurricanes remain the favorite, followed by the Panthers and the Rangers. Interesting that they all are coming from the similar side of the bracket.
While the Oilers have the top-end talent, I still don't think they have enough depth, and Stuart Skinner does not scare me in net. So I will take a long series from the Oilers and the Kings, and ultimately I think the Stars are the ones coming out of the West for the Stanley Cup.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. That's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a Posturepedic, what do they call it? A Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Dominating tonight.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. All right, we've got another couple of minutes with Paul Bovey. Let's keep things rolling. Paul, Pascal Siakam really stepped up last night. 37 points. The Pacers were playing great basketball down the stretch of the regular season. They were flat in game one, but they played up to their potential last night. Do you expect that to continue into game three? And what do you think about Giannis's potential return here, of which eventually he's going to be back?
As you could see, I took the Pacers for the series after game one at plus 210. And I feel just as confident and more so after watching yesterday's debacle. And when I say debacle, I'm talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. They just don't guard anybody. They can't win this series without Giannis back in the lineup. The Pacers have tallied at least 122 points in every matchup this year. Except for that game one, 34 or 54 inside the paint yesterday. And let me tell you, these guys were wide open. Early on, the Pacers were missing three-point shots, and they were just unguarded, but just missing. But once they got rolling, that was it. It was lights out Milwaukee. They don't play defense. This, as I mentioned last week, this was a falling knife at the end of the season. Don't try to catch it. The Pacers are going to go on to win this series if Giannis doesn't play easily. And if he does play, they're still going to take it.
What do you think of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic game three? This is a game in which I think Orlando should show up. They haven't played a home playoff game in forever. They got punched in the mouth. They were rattled. They're not going to win the series, but I don't think they're going to get swept. So do you think they can step up and win game three here? Really short price, -2, -135 money line.
You know, I know you have the plus 2.5 games, and I think you're going to get one here because, look, it all comes down to, and I don't mean to be redundant, three-point shooting. So Orlando had a game against Cleveland during the year, 2 of 23 from beyond the arc, lost the game by only 10. And in the first two games, they've converted only 17 of 72 from beyond the arc. Now, that's not going to get you many wins in the NBA, if any at all. So they're going to have to pick that up a little bit, and I expect that they will at home. If they could shoot 33 to 35% from beyond the arc, they got a real good shot to beat Cleveland. They match up well. They did fine during the regular season. So I'm expecting Orlando to get the win at the very short number.
I agree. And you look at Friday's numbers. We got some bigger, these are bigger numbers here. The Pacers are laying 5 now to the Bucks. The Mavericks are laying 4.5 to the Clippers. And now the Suns, who opened up as 3.5-point favorites, are laying 4. You would expect Phoenix isn't going to get swept either. I thought Minnesota was going to win this series, though, before it started. Did Phoenix win both games at home, Paul? Are you comfortable laying 4 with the Suns? Or are you comfortable? What do you think of the Clippers and the Mavericks now that Kawhi's got a game under his belt back?
Well, look, I want to make one point. Luka is the MVP of this league. 11 to 26 yesterday, 14 from beyond the arc, 14 attempts. So although the number percentage-wise wasn't great, it was excellent considering 32 points, 26 shots.
Big-time shots at the right time late.
Clutch shots, right. Gafford goes out early on, so again, they're playing without a center. This guy's just carrying the team. His numbers are just as good as any player in NBA history at age 25. You could look at Jordan, you could look at Allen Iverson, and that is a fact. And this guy just keeps getting better, and he's carried a team that had over 100 games where the other players, other starters were out of the lineup. So look, this is going to be a tough series. The Clippers obviously are going to be competitive, I think. Not obviously, but I believe that they will be. Kawhi Leonard, it really depends a lot on his health, how effective he could be. But, I'm not going to take a step in on the game itself. I do have the Clippers to win the conference. I have decent odds on them. It doesn't look great right now, but we'll see what happens.
That's my parlay, actually. I didn't end up playing the Orlando plus 2.5 guys. I have the Friday night card. I got the Pacers plus 2.5 games in the series, the T-Wolves plus 2.5 games, which is already won, and the Mavericks plus 2.5. So it's looking pretty good, Paul. Oh. Right? Yeah, plus 2.5 across the board. Yeah, I got to get one more from the Pacers, and I got to get one more from the Mavericks, and I win a bet, Cam. It wasn't bad, bro. It was minus 147. Minus 147.
I got to tell you, like, you look at those things, and I know everyone wants to bet in individual games, but I look at your picks and go, you know what? Those are great picks because, like, what's going to happen? Like, who sweeps who? Morency, you tell me. Like, it's one of those things that
I'll share my hockey one with you after that. The only team I'm getting worried about is your Leafs.
Is the Leafs?
Yeah. I'm going to show you after I have this parlay. I'm like, oh, God. And I'm a little worried about the Winnipeg Jets now. I'm not going to lie. Paul, we got about 4 minutes here. What about the T-Wolves and Suns and anything about with the NFL draft as well? I know you've been taking a look at it.
All right, so with T-Wolves and Suns, remember, I took a step back on the series and addressed the 3-point disparity during the regular season. And now that I said if it narrowed, that the T-Wolves had an advantage, and it has narrowed. The T-Wolves have gotten the best of it from beyond the arc ever so slightly, and that's all they had to do. Because during the regular season, I believe they were like, 24 of 80-something, and the Suns were almost 50% on the same number of shots. So that's the reason for the turnaround here. As far as the draft, look, I sent you a play. I covered this before. I do not like Drake May. I don't think he's going second. I laid $1.20 on that. I don't think he's going third. I think New England will opt for J.J. McCarthy. New England, look, Drake May is not ready to play. 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and when he stepped up in class at the end of the year against NC State and Clemson, he failed. I mean, he couldn't get it done. He is not ready to play. So who does New England have in their rotation right now? Bailey Zappi, Jacoby Brissett. They need somebody that's player ready. Penix, I have under 32.5, which I think is a steal. I like the fact that he came out and addressed the elephant in the room. What was the elephant in the room? His injury status. And I think he gave himself, in the eyes of the GMs and the guys that make decisions, he really uplifted himself because you could tell he's totally committed. I think McCarthy goes earlier than expected, and I think Drake May goes later than expected. I really centered on those three guys because I think that those are easy plays, and that's what I tend to do in these drafts. There's a lot of interchangeable parts because of trades. I don't want to fall victim of that. My big play a few years ago was Malik Willis, over 12. That's all I loaded up on, and I got off all over the place, and that worked out, and I think these are going to work out as well.
You don't want me to send you my 13 bets that I have? My 13 or 14?
Well, you could send me the Weasel rotation, the Weasel lineup, and I'll take a look at it.
Let's see what the record is. We'll see what the record is.
All right, okay.
I like the Weasel rotation.
Yeah.
We'll do five.
I'm doing this ROI
seriously.
style. Because not so much record, because I got some plus 500s and plus this, and I've thrown a couple of darts along the way. But I know how much I put in, and we'll see how much I get back from this. I hope it plays out well. I have an exact order sort of trifecta, so to speak. Caleb Williams 1, Jaden Daniels 2, J.J. McCarthy 3.
Ooh,
plus 600.
I don't mind that.
I love it. I love it.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Like, hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
For the 2024 Stanley Cup odds, the Hurricanes remain the favorite, followed by the Panthers and the Rangers. Interesting that they all are coming from the similar side of the bracket.
While the Oilers have the top-end talent, I still don't think they have enough depth, and Stuart Skinner does not scare me in net. So I will take a long series from the Oilers and the Kings, and ultimately I think the Stars are the ones coming out of the West for the Stanley Cup.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. That's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a posturepedic, whatever they call it, a Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. Shout out to Paul Bovey, who had a lot more to say, actually. He was actually disappointed. He said, is that it? He says, I said, all right, see you later. He was like, oh, am I done? So George better be good, actually, because we just ran Paul Bovey, and I always have time for a positive J.J. McCarthy opinion. And Paul was very high on J.J. McCarthy. And Paul Bovey believes, so Paul's down on Drake May. And this is a polarizing draft. A lot of people think J.J. McCarthy's being overhyped. Some people think, I saw Merrill Hodge say that Drake May's going to get a coach fired one day. That's quite the line. Kid hasn't joined the NFL yet. He's like, whoever takes this guy will be, the coach is going to get fired. That's how he feels about Drake May. Merrill Hodge, the thing about Merrill Hodge is he's upset people over the years because he used to be on ESPN and stuff, and he basically talked his way off the network, but he tells it like he thinks it is, and he thinks Drake May is going to be a big bust, Cam.
Well, to Paul's point, when I watch Drake May play, there's a lot of games that Gabe where he made a lot of mistakes. And the thing is, I'm not going to say North Carolina quarterbacks, whatever. We have to look at everybody individually, but it's been a train wreck with the last couple North Carolina quarterbacks, to be honest with you. So we'll see. Is it a system?
Well, Sam Howell's not a train wreck. You've defended Sam Howell. He's your new quarterback.
Well, no. I defend Sam Howell because he's only been in the league a couple of years. We got him for nothing.
No, I know.
I'm not going to say he's great. Like
I know.
There's a lot. There's a lot to be.
One thing I'll say about Drake May, about his numbers, Cam, and you see this with college quarterbacks. I remember this going back years. Same thing happened with Sam Darnold, with Carson Palmer. When guys know they're going to be a big-time pick. Josh Allen was the same thing. Josh Allen had this really, the scouts started to notice him, and then he wasn't as good his last year there. Because now he knows, the scouts are all watching me. Every throw, I'm being this. And another thing is they try to do too much. Drake May, North Carolina weren't great. So the guy's running around, throwing a ball. And the thing to Drake May's defense, Sam Howell had all the talent there. A lot of dudes left and made the NFL and stuff on that Sam Howell team. And Drake May didn't have the same weapons that he was working with after. So that goes into it. But he is extremely raw. And the last thing I'll say about this, I think you agree, is, and Paul was sort of going down this road, I've heard people criticize J.J. McCarthy, and they're saying that, well, you know what? He only threw the ball 22 times a game, and there was one game he threw the ball 16 times. There was another time he only threw the ball 29 times. And they're like, these other guys threw the ball all the time. What do you think is easier or harder to do? If you're Drake May playing in a stupid Wake Forest, North Carolina game that doesn't mean anything, that nobody cares about, right? There's just a bunch of scrub kids out there, and you get to throw the ball 48 times a game.
Right.
Or you're freaking playing against Penn State's defense on the road with a national championship on the line. You don't think J.J. McCarthy threw a ball? I don't know. I saw him throw a ball in overtime and beat Alabama on a 4th and 2. You don't think that's pressure? You know what I mean? It's harder to throw the ball. It's like a goalie only seeing 20 shots. It's hard. It's harder for him to draw back and go, man, I got to make this throw, and I haven't thrown the ball in 10 minutes, but I'm going to do it. Right?
When you're a goalie,
that's how good he is.
For 12 minutes and you make a huge save, that tells you about your mental strength. And I believe in J.J. McCarthy. I think he's a very good athlete, and I think he's going to grind. Hey, he needed to win the game against Alabama. Final drive, he got it done.
Pats, though, the Pats aren't the best spot for him to land. And as much as I love J.J. McCarthy, I'm not convinced as much as Paul is, to be honest, that the Patriots are going to pass on Drake May. Let's bring George Kurtz in. George, what do you think? What are the Pats going to do with the third pick? Drake May or J.J. McCarthy?
I think if that's my choices, I think they're going to take. I think they're going to take McCarthy. I think they think he fits their whether their locale the best here. But I think they want to trade the pick if they can get what they consider value for it. Right now, they can't. So if they keep the pick here, I do think they take McCarthy at 3, and then the fight is on for May at 5, 7, whatever it might be.
I'm not sure, there's these fights, though, that people think there's going to be. I've maintained it. Where are the trades? Right? We're going to see when are they going to spectacular happen right away. I'm not sure teams want to.
Teams know who's available. Right now, maybe no one wants to trade for. Let's just say for giggles that May is the player everybody wants, but they think May is going 3rd. So there's no trades to make here. But if May falls, that's where.
No, I agree with you.
They want's available.
I think, though, and we've heard the reports, I think people wanted to trade up to the 2 spot to control their own destinies, to get Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing. And I think the only team, guys, my own personal opinion, is the Vikings with Drake May. I think they're the ones that like him more than other people do because McCown was his high school coach. And it's a great point that you just raised, George. As far as the Foxborough, Drake May, man, the guy played in North Carolina. It's a good point, Cam. J.J. McCarthy's played in bad weather, man. He's played at Michigan. He's played in the Big Ten. He's from Chicago. He's a hockey player, cold weather kid growing up. And as we keep repeating, oh, yeah, by the way, Robert Kraft had some pretty good success with a Michigan Wolverine quarterback before. So don't think that he's not thinking, you know what, this guy checks all the boxes to be the face of my franchise. I don't know how much better he can do than Mac Jones did with that team right now, but maybe with this new coaching staff. But how about this, guys? And I brought it up. I don't know if you know this, Kurtz, Cam. I don't know if you heard the intro, but J.J. McCarthy did an interview a couple hours ago tonight with Rich Eisen. And Rich is a Michigan guy, and J.J. was all buddies with him and stuff. And Rich said, so, JJ, you have any feeling about where you're going to get drafted? And without missing a beat, he couldn't even finish the question. He said, yeah, the New York Giants. Said, I've spent a lot of time with the Giants. He goes, their offensive coordinator. I went out to dinner with them. I've spent a lot of time with Brian Dable. I met the owner. I know some assistant coaches there. I know the offense already. Like, if I'm Daniel Jones, I'm like, damn, like, I'm done. They're taking J.J. McCarthy.
I feel bad for Daniel Jones, though. Like, what
he's
kind of
getting
quarterback?
$37 million this year, Ken. Don't feel too bad for him.
Yeah, feeling bad. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Feeling bad.
He doesn't feel bad
word.
for you to Leafs lost tonight, so don't worry about
No,
it.
he doesn't. He doesn't feel bad. But I'll tell you one thing. That guy can run. He's got athleticism. Yeah. Oh, Brett.
I like Daniel Jones, too, but I don't feel bad for him.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah, I know.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Like, hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
To the 2024 Stanley Cup odds, the Hurricanes remain the favorite, followed by the Panthers and the Rangers. Interesting that they all are coming from the similar side of the bracket.
While the Oilers have the top-end talent, I still don't think they have enough depth, and Stuart Skinner does not scare me in net. So I will take a long series from the Oilers and the Kings, and ultimately I think the Stars are the ones coming out of the West for the Stanley Cup.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. And that's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a Posturepedic, what do they call it? A Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Vegas and Dallas tied at 1 right now. So I'm getting fired up about the NFL draft. Big Card Julio's going to join us. We got Ian Cameron. We're stacked. We're not on for the next couple of nights. So I got a bunch of NFL draft props. Bet. I don't know, Cam. I know you're betting the Brock Bowers top 10.
Yep.
I don't know what you've got, Kurtz, but if you're the Patriots, like I said, they've done a good job. I think they do want to trade the pick. Nobody is really blowing them away. And in fact, the term was they had laughable offers. So but I've heard it's J.J. McCarthy, their guy. The sports books believe right now it's Drake May. So if you want to bet J.J. McCarthy, you're getting some plus money on this right now. For J.J. to be the third pick. Did you bet the draft, Kurtz? Do you have any bets placed at all?
I have bets placed. Now, keep in mind, I live in New York, so we can't bet on the draft through through FanDuel or DraftKings. We're not allowed. So I got to go, what do you call it, the bodega bookie? So I don't have the options that you have. I have some. I have a lot of totals here. I have over 4.5 quarterbacks first round. Listen, FanDuel, they're not allowed. We're not allowed to
I didn't see this one coming. I didn't see this one coming.
We can't bet on MVP, and we can't bet anything draft-wise.
For recreational purposes only, of course, at the bodega.
Exactly,
It's not money.
Right. You know, just for fun here. You know,
Yes,
so
for fun.
I got to do that again. Like I said, any kind of thing you want to do like that in New York, you have to go different routes. Okay, you can't go through a traditional. I don't know why. I don't know what the logic is behind that. You know, or what? I'm going to fix who's going to go first overall in the draft. How does that work? So anyway, I got 4.5 quarterbacks.
Because the state of New York's government is one of the most corrupt governments in America, so they suspect everyone else is corrupt.
You would think, though, they'd want money, right? They'd want more money.
I know.
They make a fortune in gambling,
I don't know.
by the
It's
way.
just funny. Like, Albany's the shadiest place, you know what I mean? Like, one of the shadiest places anywhere, and they're worried about draft props. It's like, you know, okay, guys, yeah, that's the big concern in the state of New York, right? Draft props.
Yeah.
But
it's the only thing we have to worry about here. That's it. Everything else is fine. You know, it's frustrating.
One interesting thing about free states and free markets is you can bet the teams at what position they're going to take. And I'm sure you're excited, Jerry Jones. Does someone have a button that they push in the back of them that just says we're all in? It says, hey, we're all in on the draft. What do you mean you're all in on the draft? You mean you're going to you're going to use your picks? Like, I mean you're all in the No, I know what all in the draft means. He means we're not spending money, and these kids better be good because we're all in on these kids right now.
I know why he's excited. They had the agent for Ezekiel Elliott in today. Well, there's your center, right? So you solved that problem. You get Ezekiel, now you have a center. So, I mean, I wonder, is Jerry Jones not all there anymore? I mean, seriously, is he gone? You know, I mean, what he said during his press conference doesn't make a lot of sense.
I know,
He's there.
No, I know people mock him a lot and stuff like this, but he was a brilliant businessman. He's done like a lot, like really, really great things. But I think you're onto something, George. And Vegas just scored for the record, 2-1.
Oh, God. So my home teams, all visiting teams. It's
one of these deals too. Dallas are all over them, man. Like hockey's just so like, why does this happen to these home teams all the time? It's like Vancouver last night. You're all over them. They can't score. Like the Leafs can't score. Like same thing. Dallas all over them. They don't score.
Hockey. Baseball good. Hockey bad.
You know, Ottinger's played really, really well tonight too. And this is one that was just sort of the whole sequence. He let it get away from him. The defenseman it was a meltdown. Like I said, a momentary lapse. Vegas take advantage of it. 2-1 Vegas.
He's probably going to
Noah
stop
Hannafin.
If Vegas wins tonight, Dallas is done.
Yeah. It's going back to Vegas. What's your best hope? 3-1 back to Dallas? You're going to win 3 straight? I think so. And Vegas is only going to get better, man. They're only going to gel. They got a chemistry with all those guys that came back with the hurdles of the world. Stone, Peter Angelo. They're only going to get better.
Vegas will play the winner of the Colorado Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets.
Oof.
They're starting to look like the Avalanche. Connor Hellebuck can't stop a puck.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
What's going
that's
on,
a problem.
man?
And that's his history, right?
Cam, he's 1-5, Cam, in his last 6 playoff games. His goals against average is nearly 5, bro. Like, we got a problem now.
We have a big problem. Big problem.
But Gorgiev, listen, I'm not so sure I believe Gorgiev's back either. He had a good game in game 2. Let's see if he does it there in game 3.
Give him credit, George. He made some big saves at the end of that game.
He rebounded nicely. But still,
Colorado's a hard place to win.
It is. It really is.
But I'll tell you one thing. Everybody in the Western Conference wants Vegas gone. They're all rooting for Dallas right now. The last thing any team wants to see is Vegas moving on. That's it. They should only get better.
Well, they're about to move on unless Dallas do something.
Yeah.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Like, hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
For the 2024 Stanley Cup odds, the Hurricanes remain the favorite, followed by the Panthers and the Rangers. Interesting that they all are coming from the similar side of the bracket.
While the Oilers have the top end talent, I still don't think they have enough depth, and Stuart Skinner does not scare me in net. So I will take a long series from the Oilers and the Kings, and ultimately I think the Stars are the ones coming out of the West for the Stanley Cup.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. That's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a posturepedic, what do they call it? A Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
So it's 2-1 for Vegas after the second period of play. We're going to be going into the third period. Vegas, Boston, these good teams are good at scoring late in the periods and early in the periods, and it changes the outlook and the dynamic of the hockey games. 3-2 for the Kings and Oilers, so we got another track meet going on. 10 minutes left in the second period here. Currently, guys, the Kings are plus 110 to come back and win the game, Cam. You interested?
You mean, who, the Oilers?
The Oilers. The Oilers plus 110 to come back and beat the Kings.
I'm very interested in that. Very interested. I think the Oilers win this game like 6-4. I think they're going to go nuts. As the Kings just scored?
No, there's a power play coming up for Edmonton.
Oh, good.
There's a power play coming up.
Good. Sorry, it locked. I'm like, I assumed the Kings scored.
I'm watching it. I see it. No, I see it.
How far away am I? I mean, once again, you're like a minute ahead of me. You're still playing right now for me. I haven't seen the power play yet. Oh, now the left hand goes in.
Gabe's got the best system in the land.
I think Gabe's at the game for crying out loud. He says, it's amazing.
It really is. It's really fascinating. It's wild.
Yeah, I got it quick. And it switched too. Went from plus to minus 105 right now. So now that they're going on the power play, so we'll keep our eye on that. So listen, I've been in football mode, playoff mode and stuff, but the Dodgers starting to light it up a little bit. Nice week on the East Coast so far. They get the Blue Jays this week. I was going to originally come to Toronto this weekend. Just things didn't work out. But the Dodgers are in Toronto this weekend. But Ohtani's like killing it. He hit a ball 118 miles an hour the other night. It's like one of the hardest hittest balls on record ever. But every once in a while in sports, you get these crazy anomalies and crazy numbers. And you're not going to get any crazier than this. Look at this, guys, with Ohtani and with Babe Ruth. That's right, Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, in his first 725 Major League Baseball games, had 176 home runs. Shohei Ohtani, in his first 725 baseball games, has 176 home runs. Babe Ruth, through 481 and two-third innings at this stage of his career and had a 37-19 record. Shohei Ohtani has thrown 481 and two-third innings and has a 38-19 record.
That's nuts.
So in other words, they're completely equal, except Shohei Ohtani has won one more game. He's better. Best baseball player in the history of the game. No, but that's pretty crazy, Cam.
He's better.
I like
Saves the outfield, I don't know. It's probably a negative in the outfield, by the way. But that's pretty scary to have almost the exact
crazy,
same
Gabe.
numbers there.
It's nuts.
That's wild, huh? Like the eeriness of it. Well, he's compared to Babe Ruth. We always talk about. No one else could really pitch. There are a few other guys did, but so he's going to have that going for him.
Sure,
Who's the best
better shape, less hot
Rick
dogs.
Rhoden? Rhoden was a good hitter, hitting pitcher back in the 70s and 80s.
Rick Rhoden? He's a
Rick
great
Rhoden.
golfer.
Yeah, but I'm
he
talking
crushed
about
us
in the
to the tour.
1900s, though. There were other guys that did it. All right, so like Ruth wasn't the only
guy.
guy.
Was not alive back then.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah!
Yeah, they tied it.
Yeah!
Who
Here we
scored?
go.
Edmonton.
I have anytime goal scorers. I have McDavid and Hyman.
No, it looks like that is.
Wow. It was your boy, Zach Hyman.
Hyman! I love Hyman every day.
Why am I betting
Hyman.
this? I got to be betting this guy.
Hyman's
And
amazing,
the over comes in now. The over's in. Oh, my train wreck of a hockey night is now coming much better here.
No, wait. I don't want to tease you. Wait. No.
Oh, they're reviewing it?
No. Oh,
Did it hit him? Because I thought McDavid shot it.
No, it's not a review. Oh, you mean it may not be Hyman?
Oh, okay.
No, it's Hyman. Okay.
It's Hyman for fun.
It's Hyman.
I wouldn't care. Either way, I'm golden.
It's Hyman.
It's a good goal. There's nothing wrong here.
That's the one criticism of Hyman, but he buries it. He's on the ice with McDavid and Draisaitl, and he's in these great spots. Like, boom, the puck went right to him. Bam.
Hyman's great. He's a finisher. Excellent.
He really is a goal scorer, this guy. He's got like 60 goals now or something, this guy. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Listen, it doesn't matter.
You got to finish it.
You got to be able to finish it, and he can.
No, you got to finish it. Like Pedersen last night. I know. He didn't finish it.
So many times, in fantasy, you want to take the guy who's playing with Crosby, taking the guy who's playing with McDavid. Doesn't always work. Sometimes that guy's terrible. Take the guy Ovechkin. He'll get garbage.
See how good that goal was? He's on his knees. He got low. Hyman's just a natural goal.
Oh, he's hot as hell right now. He's hot.
He's great. Wish we had him on the
So 3-3, and suddenly the Oilers are minus 210 now, over under 9.5. What do you think, Kurtz, to the end game now?
That's a high.
It was
goal.
minus 150 when I looked. It was 8.5 before that goal. So I was, minus 150 is a little rough. What is it now?
It's minus one. It's plus 130 to the over 9.5.
9.5. I got plus 142.
I wouldn't be betting the under. You can't bet the under.
I'm not betting the under, no. That's 4 goals. We need 4 more goals to get the over? Boy.
Who's back?
What about the total of Vegas and Dallas? It's at 5.5, minus 210 to the under. This should open up, actually. I would be betting the over here. You're getting plus money. Over 5.5, plus 160. Yeah, you get plus money.
I agree.
Major plus money.
Anybody goes up 3-2, empty netter, plus 172. It's a good.
And even if Vegas get up 3-1, then it'll lead to more goals as well with the empty net. I'm going to get a little piece of this. I literally and figuratively, most of my money's in on the NFL draft. So, Kurtz, what do you got for the NFL draft?
All right, so I have over 4.5 quarterbacks. It's minus 250. It's a crazy price you're paying here, but how does that not come in? How does that not come in here? So I got to.
I have that parlayed. I have that parlayed right now, Kurtz, with the Oilers, actually.
Tonight's Oiler game?
Yeah. So minus 110. If I get through it, then I have a minus 110 tomorrow. Like that finishes off. That's what the parlay was.
You guys
I wanted to parlay it with the baseball game tomorrow.
To get drafted in the first round. It's because the first 4 are locks.
I wanted Penix is getting. They're going in the first round. Penix is going in the first round, and they'll trade back in to get him. He's not going 37, whatever Mel Kiper has of that. It's not going to happen. I wanted to take the parlay with the baseball game tomorrow to get the price down, but once again, since I can't do it on FanDuel, I can't parlay it, so I sort of got screwed there. Oh. But I got the over 4.5 quarterbacks. I have under 9.5 linemen. Under 7.5 wide receivers? I believe it's like the under there. Those are my 3 under plays as far as position. I can't. What? I have a commercial
Is that
here.
what you're thinking, Gabe?
What?
Oh, I was reading your mind. Like you seem like Vegas just scored or something like that. I was just trying to.
Between
It's the
periods.
intermission.
Oh,
It's the intermission.
thank God. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Scared
Been a
me
long
there.
day. Sorry. Apologize. My mistake.
You scared me. Scared.
Oh, no, I looked at him because he was kind of looking at the TV like something weird was going on.
No.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about the NFL draft. I'm thinking about the NFL draft and what other picks.
Brock Bowers being
Yeah.
a top 10. Got that? I don't see how any way on God's green earth that he gets past the Jets at 10. I think the Jets, unless someone else drops that the Jets really love, I don't think there's any way in hell Bowers gets past the New York Jets at 10. And I think he might go earlier than that.
It's my biggest play. That's it. Bowers smashed.
There's a lot of teams that could that it wouldn't surprise me. Starting with the Chargers, actually, it would be somewhat of a surprise, but Brock Bowers with Herbert would be a good fit. I personally think Joe Alt will be the 5th pick of the draft, the lineman out of Notre Dame. Listen, Harbaugh's got a 5-year contract. He's not ready to win a Super Bowl in his first year. He knows this. So I think he wants to build a little bit of a foundation. He's a big offensive line guy, run the ball guy, protect the quarterback guy. And then I think he does take some skill position players later on in the draft. Thanks, George.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Like, hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
To the 2024 Stanley Cup odds, the Hurricanes remain the favorite, followed by the Panthers and the Rangers. Interesting that they all are coming from the similar side of the bracket.
While the Oilers have the top-end talent, I still don't think they have enough depth, and Stuart Skinner does not scare me in net. So I will take a long series from the Oilers and the Kings, and ultimately I think the Stars are the ones coming out of the West for the Stanley Cup.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. That's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a Posturepedic, what do they call it? A Sealy's, whatever they do, those things. He ready to roll. Dominating tonight.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The Oilers are swarming the Kings right now. We got a 3-3 hockey game. So we're going to get Kurtz out of here. But as Dallas Cowboys, we got distracted by Jerry Jones and him starting to lose it a little bit. And I think he is. You can see, like, when his son sits next to him and he goes through these conferences, it's almost that, what's he going to say, the worried stuff, you know what I mean? The doodling on the notepad at the meetings, at the owners' meetings, was just kind of another sort of telltale sign about where his mind is at, in which it's like Homer Simpson stuff. You're talking to everybody, and you're just scribbling and drawing like stickmen and stuff. Like, seriously. You know what I mean?
I love it.
He's into it, though, Kim. He's like, oh, I got a good pyramid going here. Right? He's like, he's starting to lose it a little bit. You know what I mean? No, I'm just being real. Like, but his son kind of run things kind of with him behind the scenes. But what position do you think they take, Kurt? So let's get the odds up there. The Cowboys, what position are they going to take?
It'll be an offensive lineman. They don't have a choice. You don't have a center. You don't have either a left tackle or a guard, depending on what you're going to do with Tyler Smith, right? They don't have a choice here. I do believe, however, they trade down. I don't think they'll pick at 24. I think they'll pick it somewhere around 30, 31. They'll trade down to try and get an extra third-round pick, an extra fourth-round pick. But an offensive lineman has to be coming.
Everybody wants to trade down. That's the whole thing in the NFL. But like, everyone thinks they're just going to, we'll just give you picks because you want to trade down. I know.
Everybody wants to trade down. Like, hey, do we accept the trade? Like, I know. Hey, I'd love to trade down too. They say it's one of those.
That's all I hear too is GMs. Yeah. The Buffalo Bills are like, oh, we'd love to trade down if everyone wants to trade. It's like, well, no one wants to do that. Why would they want to do that?
Exactly.
We'll see.
Exactly.
We'll see. Are you waiting? We're still waiting for these blockbuster deals, Kurtz. Haven't happened yet.
The Cowboys won't be a blockbuster.
Well, everybody, this team's going to move up and all this. Come on, see, Cam, that's what the people like in the media do, like Kurtz.
Blockbuster deal will take 24. I mean, there would be a spectacular player available at 24. In which case, the Cowboys should just take that player.
My only thing is, I say my projected deal is the Broncos or the Vikings or the Raiders or something hop up from like 11, 12, 13 or whatever to like 7 or 8 or something. Where like, they, you know what I mean? Let's just say, so May's gone, McCarthy's gone, and then the reality kicks in for the Broncos and the Vikings. All right, we got Sam Darnold as our quarterback. We're taking Michael Penix. Right? And then they're like, okay, we're not waiting. Like, if you're Denver at 12, you can't say, well, let's hope Minnesota doesn't take him, or maybe they like Bo Nix. That's one of the reasons, guys, I'm not sure there's going to be this big trading market, Cam, because I think teams are going to say, whatever, dude, I'm not trading up to get J.J. McCarthy when I don't have to trade and I get Michael Penix, who might be better. Exactly. A lot of guys like Michael Penix. Like, the Vikings can make any quarterback good. If Michael Penix ends up on the Vikings with Jefferson and Addison, Russell, and these guys, Jordan, they're going to be crazy. Like, it's going to be good. So, you know, I'm not sure, like, teams are going to push the panic button to trade up for these quarterbacks like people think. I got a bet here before we get you out of here, though, Kurtz. Yeah. Spencer Rattler. Again, here it is. I think Spencer Rattler is sort of that guy that teams are going to say, you know what? We'll just take Spencer Rattler instead. And Rattler is over under 79.5, man. He's not getting to 80, this kid. No way.
I love
I'm even seeing late first round today, Cam. People are all like, there's a buzz that Rattler, I don't think he will be, but it will not shock me at all if Rattler goes in that 30 range, 35, whatever, 37. You know what I mean?
You know me, Morency. I'm pretty good at, like, saying what reports are crap and whatever, but I'll tell you, the Seahawks love Rattler. Like, they're basically saying if he's around, like, you know, second round, we're there. That's too high. That's way too high.
He goes too high.
He has too much talent, guys, like for a coach not to say, yeah, we're taking this guy. And if we're wrong, we're wrong. We'll roll the dice with him. You know what I mean? Yep. He's that guy where you take when you already have a starter, but you want to bring him in. You know what I mean? And see how it plays out. Like one of those deals. He turns the ball over a lot, but he's really good, too. He's got a lot of talent, too.
Look at the Seahawks quarterbacks. They got Howell, Geno Smith, whatever. Like,
besides the obvious teams, New Orleans would make sense, maybe. You know, if they don't believe in Derek Carr, the Rams, they want somebody else with Stafford. You know, Stafford's not getting any younger there. He gets hurt every year.
You just said it. The Rams, second round type deal.
Good call. Good call.
Smart quarterback coach type guy will say, you know what?
Who's with the Rams?
Let's get Rattler.
Jimmy Garoppolo's there as their second stringer, and Buddy from
Stafford
Georgia's,
and Jimmy
G. Yeah, and what's his name? National championship winners, their third string quarterback.
I think he might have drank himself off the team.
He has personal problems. Yeah.
I think he was on a leave of whatever. Yeah, he's got problems, that kid. Thank you, George.
Anytime, guys. Good luck.
Love you, George.
Go Oilers.
Love you. Go Oilers.
It's a telltale sign when the kid got arrested, basically partying when George won a national championship. Like, yeah, well, you kind of knew this kid can't handle his booze. Everyone else, you're the only one that got arrested. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You bring up good points. A lot of Georgia players, like what a program, eh? Like they got so many guys that like had crazy.
That's why they win.
That's why they're good. Exactly, Gabe. That's why they win.
They don't care. Like, you know what I mean?
You're right.
Their attitude is, we're not a pro team. We're not paying him. Who cares? He's going to be here 2 years, and let him get arrested, and he'll be in the NFL anyways. It won't be my problem. That's the way
right.
Kirby Smart thinks. Let's bring in Big Card Julio right now. If Mr. Julio Rosario is ready to go. Our main man, Julio. What's up, Julio? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. Only one team in the entire world could make their fan base so irate the night before drafting number 1 overall in the NFL draft, and that team would be the Chicago Bears. Hope you guys are doing well.
What's your problem with the Bears now, Julio? What's going on with the Bears? Like, you got the first pick, you got the quarterback coming, you got the 9th pick. What are Bear fans upset about today? I saw you tweeting about the stadium proposal.
Yes.
But what are Bear fans upset about today, Julio?
When aren't they upset is the question. But they're upset today about the proposed $4 billion new stadium on the lakefront, about 20 or 200 feet away from the current Soldier Field site. They're not happy. I'll tell you more on the other side.
Well, people are never happy. If they moved out of Chicago, people wouldn't be happy.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here, because I'll tell you, that's a bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Like, hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
For the 2024 Stanley Cup odds, the Hurricanes remain the favorite, followed by the Panthers and the Rangers. Interesting that they all are coming from the similar side of the bracket.
While the Oilers have the top-end talent, I still don't think they have enough depth, and Stuart Skinner does not scare me in net. So I will take a long series from the Oilers and the Kings, and ultimately I think the Stars are the ones coming out of the West for the Stanley Cup.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Philadelphia 76ers, who are the second best team in this Eastern Conference by a mile when Joel Embiid is healthy. And that's just what they are. So now, if Giannis isn't available, the Bucks would be dogs in the series.
He ain't sleeping on that air mattress anymore. He's got a regular king-size bed, a posturepedic, what do they call it? A Sealy's, whatever it is in those things. He's ready to roll. Denominating tonight.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Our boy Julio was wondering about the keeper of the cup job. Not a bad job, Julio. You get to travel with the Stanley Cup around town. Everywhere, like 365 days a year. I've got the white glove somewhere. I'm the keeper of the cup myself. I got the cup here. We got the white gloves as well. That dude, though, yeah, he's cashed in on that, right? The dude with the hair there, Pritchard, whatever his name is. He's really made a really made a career out of this thing. But he takes care of it. It's pretty crazy. Like the Cup sleeps in a hotel room, and like he puts it in the bed and stuff. He'll take pictures. It's not like in a nice 5-star hotel, but it's kind of a more modern job because the Stanley Cup, if you win it, you get it for a day. Some players will get it for a couple of days, whatever, if there's the star. But like the teams get the cup for real in the off season. And as we all know the stories, whatever, the Dallas Stars like broke it with Pantera and Pantera's pool. People have done cocaine out of it. They've urinated in like bad things.
I've heard some bad stories during the Blackhawks.
I think someone might have taken a dump in it at the Howard Stern show or something.
Right.
Like that's when they were like, all right, that's never happening again. Like we're going to have someone with you. Like you can't do this.
That's not right.
Someone forgot it in a strip club. Like stuff happened to it a lot. You'd figure, how do you forget the Stanley Cup? Well, you win the cup, you're wasted. You guys are partying your ass off. Who has the cup? Well, I don't know, man. I thought Carey Price had the cup. I don't know. I thought Cam had it. Like I don't know.
Exactly.
You'd be like, damn, we left the cup at Wanda's. Like that'd be like, damn, we got left the Stanley Cup. Like people have lost the cup. People have smashed the cup. Like people have like engraved their own names into the cup. People have done all kinds of crazy things with it. So they finally decided we need to have a monitor, which is a great job because you get to go to the parties with the players now. And your only job is to not snitch. The only things you see.
Yeah. Still don't party, though. He has to stay sober while the other guys get lit.
I'd be so open to bribes, Cam. I'd just be like, dude, like I'd have the word out. All you got to do is flip Morency like 5-10 dimes. He doesn't care what you do with the cup. I'll be like a WWE referee, Julio. I'll be looking the other way. I don't see anything, guys. I'm not saying anything.
He's Danny Davis. Give me the damn cup. We're taking it for.
I'd be like a crooked cop. Word would be out. Oh, you want Morency to be on the tour cup with you. He won't rat you out to Bettman. You're right. Pritchard, I can imagine. Oh, sir, the LA Kings were doing cocaine out of the cup.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what are your picks, Julio? What do you got for us?
Let's go on. Let's do NFL draft. The Broncos with the trade for Zach Wilson. I don't. If you're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, that means he's going to start within the year or two. I don't think that's going to happen. The value is on defense. You can still find it if books are offering this. Broncos to draft a defensive lineman plus 250, cornerback plus 500, safety 10-1. All three of those positions they've been looking at heavily scouting wise over the course of this winter. So that's where my money is going with the Broncos. I think they're going defense in round 1 tomorrow night.
Interesting. And everybody laughed at the Zach Wilson trade earlier in the week.
Love it.
But, yeah, I know you said the same thing. And I said, wow. I said, I think this means they're probably not even going to draft a quarterback with that pick now because I think they looked at the board and said, you know what, we think Zach Wilson's better than Bo Nix, or we think that he's better, so why would we use this pick? And I don't know if you heard, Julio. I'm sure people are talking about it in Denver today, but guess who endorsed Zach Wilson today? Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning said Zach Wilson's a very talented player, and he lives out there in Denver. He's like, he goes with Sean Payton, Zach Wilson will be the guy, and it's a great pickup. He's got a ton of talent. Jets are a train wreck, and it's a perfect fit for him. And I think it's true. I think Peyton's ready to give Zach Wilson a chance for real, actually, Julio.
And he comes on the cheap as well. The Jets are still paying his deal, so it's a win-win for all sides with that deal. Quickly on the in the NBA, the Nuggets play tomorrow night as well, giving the Nuggets -1. In the NHL, I don't think the
Homer picks, Avs, Nuggets.
Homer picks, yes.
You got the Avs too.
Hey, Islanders, I don't think they get swept. I think they win 1. It will be tomorrow night plus 135. Avalanche to win in regulation Friday night plus 105. And come on, can the Leafs win at home? Give me the Leafs on Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, Cam.
Yeah, let's go.
Great job, Julio.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend. Take care.
Well, that was quick.
Cam's already sad about the Leafs. I got to tell you.
I am.
You and your Leaf fans' attitude don't help the team. You guys got to perk up.
Hey. I'm the one of the guys like, maybe